singer Danielle Leigh Curry, better known by her stage name DaniLeigh, hit a 17-year-old boy with her car while driving under the influence in Miami Beach, Florida.
Yeah, she's cruising, doing her section.
The person flew. I'm telling you, like, I was like, he's dead.
She tells the officer she was actually coming back from a party at Diddy's house.
Coming from Diddy's house, that opens up a whole new can of worms.
And Chris Brown. I mean, she...
The 17-year-old victim was transported to the hospital and sustained a kidney laceration and a spinal fracture.
All right, Jim and I are back with a video from Law and Crime. Never seen this before. We're gonna go through it. We'll pause it, talk about it along the way. We'll tell you what we like, what we don't like, what's good, what's bad. And I know that, because I read them, that you guys will do the same thing in the comments. Let's get into it.
In May of 2023, singer Danielle Leigh Curry, better known by her stage name DaniLeigh, hit a 17-year-old boy with her car while driving under the influence in Miami Beach, Florida. Police say witnesses told them DaniLeigh was swerving in and out of lanes and driving at a high rate of speed when she struck the 17-year-old who was on a motorized scooter and dragged the scooter for blocks down the Miami Strip. A bystander was able to flag down a nearby officer who initiated the traffic stop. In Bodycam video obtained by Law and Crime, it captures a chaotic scene as the witnesses try to tend to the teenager as he laid injured on the ground. One of the eyewitnesses walked the officer through what he saw as he noted how fast the driver was going to the point the victim flew across the street.
He's on a scooter right here.
So he was here in his lane?
in his scooter right here. And I saw him, I was right there at Quiz.
Okay.
And I heard, the first thing I heard was the SUV going fast.
Okay.
And I look over and the guy is looking out to see if there's any cars coming.
Okay.
And he's maybe scooting forward slowly and the SUV comes, he was probably around here.
Okay.
And the SUV comes a million miles an hour and just hits him. And I see the scooter, just everything go with the car. And
Jim, I'm gonna pause there. It's a lot to take in.
Oh, yeah.
A celebrity. Do you know who that celebrity is?
I have no idea.
Me neither. What'd they say? I missed it. Singer?
Yeah, I feel like a boomer.
Yeah. Boomer. All right. And then what does she do? Apparently there's a kid on a scooter, right? A 17-year-old on a scooter.
Right.
Rainy day, Miami Beach. Man, I've seen a lot of cases, criminal cases, personal injury cases, traffic case, whatever. Car versus those like scooters, like what is like Lime?
Yeah, they had them in Chicago for a long time.
Yeah,
I think they got rid of them.
Right, I think so too. But man, I've seen when they were here in Chicago, I saw a lot of cases because I don't know. I mean, they're tiny, right? Like
they're fast.
They're fast. Yeah, you got I've ridden on those things in Austin, Texas, from bar to bar. I rode those things, and yeah, you like scoot around. You think you're invincible. I'm not saying this 17-year-old kid did anything wrong, but I'm just noting that I've seen a lot of vehicle versus person on scooter accidents, and that's what this looks like it is. And then the car keeps driving, right?
Yeah, a couple blocks. Oh.
All right, let's see.
And then I just freaked out for a second. I was like, that was a person. Like, oh my god.
So you
and I thought
the person flew.
the person flew. I'm telling you, like, I was like, he's dead. He hit him so hard, and I thought I was gonna land here. And he landed over the. Like I started going, and I couldn't see him.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he went that far.
One witness told an officer he didn't see the driver who struck the teenager, but saw the aftermath of the scooter being dragged across several blocks.
So what have you seen?
I saw him come driving up the right lane, dragging.
Who was driving?
I didn't see the driver. He never got out.
Okay, and he was dragging the scooter?
Yeah, he was dragging the scooter under his front bumper all the way up from 11th Street.
Okay.
And I heard it, and then he stopped over here. He backed up and disengaged, went around it, and took off northbound.
But during the investigation, officers caught up with both drivers. It was quickly dispelled.
I was just about to say, I mean, clearly we're watching the video and we know who it is, so they catch the driver. But like in downtown, busy street, like you are not getting away with this. There are cameras freaking everywhere. They are picking up that license plate within minutes.
Oh, easily.
For sure. And then, yeah, I mean, it comes back to just for the people at home who may not have the familiarity. Yeah, they find the license plate. You can generally see what the year, make, and model is, assuming those match, right? Like it's the valid plate to the vehicle. Then, yeah, I mean, they're gonna know who the registered owner is, what their address is, what their phone number is, who other people in that household of legal age to drive a vehicle. I mean, they're gonna have their suspects pretty quickly. Still have to prove who the actual driver is. It's not enough just to prove what vehicle it is. You need to prove who the driver is. But yeah, they're going to be on this one in no time. Let's see. I'm curious to see how they do catch up with the vehicle.
The driver of the white Jeep was just a witness to the horrific incident.
Witnesses? Yes, sir. I flagged homie out. He was on the opposite side of me. I kind of got there. Come on. You were the driver? Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, so we up to see, is this northbound or south? This is
northbound.
Okay, northbound, maybe a few lights back. We see the north. We see, first saw the vehicle swerving, weaving in and out of traffic. It was raining. We immediately said to each other, like, wow, why are they driving like that? They're going to hit somebody. As soon as we said that, the cyclist made that left turn, hit him. Just like that.
Well, she was switching lanes.
She was going straight. She was proceeding straight, but she didn't have time because she was going so fast. She couldn't have stopped to let the
speed kills, as they say.
Maybe 60. Yeah, 60. Yeah, it was fast because she was like weaving, and then she hit him. And then we was like, oh, and we saw sparks. I saw sparks underneath the truck. I said, oh, she hit him. And we were waiting to see if she would stop. Did not stop. She kept going. That's when we got involved. Like, oh, we gotta follow her. So we got to the next light. A group of people came over to the truck, to the passenger side, to let her know, like, you got the scooter on your front. You got a scooter right there. And I guess it fell off. The bike was to the side. She kept going. That's when we started chasing. At that point, we just, all right, we gotta go. I'm calling 911. Gave him the license plate number. My husband's following. That's when we started honking. As we flagged down one cop. The first cop that stopped there. I'm sorry, I don't know who, but we flagged him down. And we're like, look, hit and run. And somebody did back there. Please, they left. And that's when all of this happened.
By this time, it was confirmed the driver of the Mercedes was DaniLeigh, who acted unaware she hit someone with her car.
I mean, you're dragging that scooter, right? There's two explanations. If you're a prosecutor in court, you're going to pick one and you're arguing this, that either was so drunk that they were unaware that they were dragging a scooter for blocks and it hit someone, or they're actively trying to flee the scene of a very serious crime. Or someone seriously hurt and killed and leave them on the side of the road dead. If you're a prosecutor, you're arguing one of those. Right. And neither one of them look very good. I don't know which one's worse. Neither one of them are very good.
I mean, I think it depends on what charges are levied against the person, what you're trying to prove. And I mean, this might be kind of a duh to our audience at home, but really one of the big reasons they're trying to figure out who the driver of that vehicle is, obviously who to properly charge. But at least here in Illinois, I know this is in Florida, but here in Illinois, the DUI statute, the last part of it says that the person charged with a DUI was either driving or in actual physical control of a vehicle. And it's something that a prosecutor has to establish in their case for a driving under the influence ticket. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a newer prosecutor forget to identify our client as the driver of a vehicle. Yeah. And I'm not about to correct them either, but it's an important element of this offense.
Yeah, and you could concoct a story afterwards. I'm not saying I would do this, but I'm just saying you could see someone concocting a story later that no, we switched seats, or
somebody stole
my car, or they got out of the vehicle, and I tried to get in my vehicle and drive back to the scene to go help them. Whatever. You can come up with these crazy stories, and so cops absolutely going to tie this down to them, of course. The other thing that I think is probably pretty basic, but I think it's helpful to work through, because I talk to people in maybe not this exact situation, but similar things happen to them, or they are charged with it or whatever. And let's walk through sort of the progression, if you will, hitting somebody on a scooter while driving your vehicle in and of itself is not necessarily a criminal offense. Probably a traffic offense, right?
Right.
But like a scooter could pull out in front of you or whatever, right? Even just failing to stop or in time is not a criminal offense. It's a traffic offense. Accidents happen all the time. Traffic accidents happen all the time, and people don't go to jail. The fact that it is a vehicle versus essentially a pedestrian, a person on some sort of scooter, makes it more serious in terms of injuries, obviously, but it doesn't necessarily make it more serious in terms of the level of offense.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, fleeing afterwards, leaving the scene of an accident, any accident is typically going to be a criminal offense. Leaving the scene of an accident that resulted in great bodily harm is a serious criminal offense, almost certainly a felony. And then if you add in, obviously, being under the influence, you have a DUI that results in great bodily harm. Now you're cooking with quite a few felonies, right? But I just kind of wanted to set it up that in and of itself, the accident, if somebody was dead sober, of course, and hadn't been flying at 1,000,000 miles an hour, that's reckless. But it's just kind of going at a somewhat even normal, even a couple miles over the speed limit, or normal rate of speed, even if it is speeding, and then gets in an accident, is not necessarily a criminal offense.
She's seen in cuffs along with a friend who was riding in the passenger seat.
G-Wagon.
All right, well, now we're doing an investigation. All right, I explained to you multiple times. I'm losing my patience. I'm trying to be cool, but you have people pulling up here. We can't have that. Okay? Aside from that, I'm not trying to give you attitude, but you understand what I'm coming. Okay? Well.
So I just can't be committed to committing a crime.
Regardless of the fact that you're a celebrity or not, you're still not above the law. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so let us do our due diligence. Let us do our investigation. Then from there, if you're good, you're good. Simple as that.
About 10 minutes later, while still cuffed in on the pavement, DaniLeigh continues to throw around her celebrity status. As she mentions to the officer, she made songs for famous singers.
I've never been in handcuffs before. You guys ever heard of
Easy?
Easy with Chris Brown?
Yeah.
You heard that song?
I've heard Easy.
That's my song.
Okay. You made it for you?
No, that's my song.
Oh, like you made it?
Yeah.
And you sold it to him?
Yes. You guys.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Some weird people was talking about I hit somebody. Like, what is he talking about? That's crazy.
She tells the officer she was actually coming back from a party at Diddy's house, but the singer doesn't seem to take it serious that she injured a 17-year-old boy.
Coming from Diddy's house, that opens up a whole new can of worms.
And Chris Brown. I mean, she...
Man, oh man. Shit happens with Diddy. Oh man. All right. The people dropping their celebrity status or trying to talk to the officer, buddy up with them, not uncommon. We see people all the time during this sort of waiting, holding phase. Yeah, people.
I've never seen somebody talk themselves out of a ticket, though.
Neither have I.
I know I always say this,
Nope.
but you can't talk yourself out of one.
Oops, sorry.
But you can always talk yourself into one.
Yes, exactly
So-
right. You can always talk yourself into more. That is why we say don't make statements.
What?
And the laughing doesn't look good, obviously.
What is happening?
Where you coming from?
Diddy had a memorial party.
At his house?
Can I just pay a ticket?
Not right now. We have to investigate. Once we're completed with the investigation,
Did
and we don't find
somebody
anything.
die?
If we don't find anything, we'll let you go.
Did somebody die?
I don't know.
How do you not know? You know if somebody died.
No, I
Did
really don't know.
somebody die?
I promise you, I don't know.
How do you not know if somebody's dead around here?
That doesn't look good.
No.
No.
I know. I heard fire originally responding, but I don't know for what. I don't know anything.
You know nobody died.
What's your first name? Danielle, right?
Danielle.
You know it's a very serious thing, right? You know you hit somebody on a scooter.
No, I didn't hit nobody.
Yes, you did. Why? Wow, okay, so why is there damage on your hood?
And you're from Buffalo.
There's no damage on my head.
There's none whatsoever?
Can I look?
No, you cannot look. There is damage.
No, there's not.
It's not. It's a really serious thing, and you're laughing.
I'm not laughing.
You are laughing.
I would, as a prosecutor, I would be eating this up.
Oh, yeah.
Right now. Why didn't you know that there was damage to the front of your vehicle? And just the lack of remorse.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that is something never advisable.
No, during sentencing, exactly. That's what you're arguing for sure. Yep, not a good look at all. And I mean, that a second copy, I don't blame him one bit for being like, this is a real serious thing. I mean, it just gets under your skin when you see someone like that. Even if you know like they're intoxicated and they're not their normal self, perhaps, but still, it just gets under your skin. Like, dude, that kid, some officers right now or in hospital staff are like, officers are calling this kid's parents and hospital staff is treating this kid possibly trying to save his life. Like, I don't know how serious, right? But, but yes, it's not, and then you got a girl laughing.
I would take a bet. I know there's only about 11 or so minutes left. I bet they don't run them through fields just because of how much time is left. But if I was a prosecutor, I'd still be trying this, obviously, as a DUI.
Right.
But then using this as proof of intoxication, which is, again, another reason not to be making these statements. And I could see a judge, if she got like a leaving the scene of an accident ticket, really throwing the book at her hard with that. Because some people think if you're found not guilty of maybe the DUI offense, if she doesn't end up doing field sobriety testing or breathalyzer, that they're just going to get off scot-free. I've seen judges where they say, because of the way that you were acting and the lack of remorse, I am going to nail you on the accompanying tickets.
Yes.
I've even seen it where somebody gets a not guilty on a DUI, but maybe a petty offense or something like that, and the judge's DUI conditions for an evaluation and treatment. So you're definitely not helping your case by talking or acting.
It is two different things. When you have a judge, or a jury, right? And there's two different things between proving the case beyond a reasonable doubt and then sentencing. Those are two different things. So what it's talking about is, say, and we have no idea what happens, but say she beats the DUI charge, right? In court, but she loses the leaving the scene of an accident. The judge is going to triple, double up on all that and still sentence her with sentence her with the full force.
But he's dying, bro.
You don't know that.
I know that for sure.
Like you asked us.
I know if I would have hit somebody, I know somebody would be dead. Type. Nobody's dying.
I'm just telling you, it's a very serious situation. You're laughing.
I'm not laughing. Don't make me feel bad. Officer Noah.
You should feel bad.
Noah?
You hit somebody.
I didn't hit nobody.
If you hit somebody, if you didn't hit anybody, then none of this would be happening right now.
I didn't hit nobody. I didn't hit nobody. I know for a fact I didn't hit nobody.
Hello? Okay, yeah, we have a wheel witness here. Our witness of this wheel. We saw it and then...
That's a witness. That's a man that has nothing better to do in life. Like, who is taking his word? Like, why do we take his word? Like, why?
We have to do our due diligence. If someone tells us something, we have to investigate.
Nobody that he could literally be lying.
And that's why we have to investigate to see if it's true or not.
Investigate it, but don't take his word. Like, you can't take nobody's word.
No, I know, and that's why we haven't put you in the back of our vehicle and taken you to jail. Because we got to investigate. We don't know what happened.
You gotta take me to jail?
No, I'm not saying that we are. I'm saying that you're detained right now as we're investigating.
But to send me to jail?
No, I never said that. Right now we're investigating to see if anything occurred. We don't know what happened. That's all.
I feel like you're just being like so mean to me and I didn't even do anything.
I haven't been mean to you. You're laughing.
Because I think it's funny, like how you're being mean to me without even knowing. You just believing this man in this Jeep that doesn't even know me.
Okay.
The severity of what happened seems to have set in as DaniLeigh became visibly emotional. About half an hour later, the officers asked the singer to do a field sobriety test.
I've talked on this channel and, in our line of work, people go through the stages of grief here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're intoxicated oftentimes. They are handcuffed. There's sort of whatever all the stages of grief are, right? Denial, shock, horror, right? All these things. And then eventually they sort of have some level of awareness, regret, and all those different stages.
Yep.
No idea what the actual 12 stages are, but you can just see sort of the cycle of emotions that someone goes through.
So right now what we're gonna do is we're done with the crash investigation. Okay, we're gonna do we're gonna see if you're driving on the lane first. Okay, so we're gonna start that we're done with the crash investigation. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a set of tests to determine if you're driving on the dangerous. Okay, so we're starting a criminal investigation. Okay, so do us a favor. We're gonna walk over here because it's a little bit more stable and there's more light. Okay, you see this light, right? So the first step that we're gonna do is follow horizontal gaze. Okay, so you're gonna follow the tip of my pen. Okay, I'm gonna cover it so it's not too bright. So I'm gonna check for your eyes. Do you wear contacts? Okay. Do you wear glasses normally? Okay, so you should be. So you're gonna keep your head still and follow the stimulus, which is this blue point, okay? With your eyes only. You're not gonna move your head. Okay, do you understand the instructions? Don't move the flashlight with the eyes, okay?
They're not blocking out the shirt. HGN does, horizontal gaze nystagmus. Checks. The idea is to see if somebody had consumed alcohol.
We're gonna do another test, which is gonna be up and down, same thing. You're not gonna move your head, you're just gonna follow the stimulus with your eyes, okay?
Hello, how are you? Okay. I'm not gonna report looking.
So now we're gonna pass to another part. Are you comfortable?
Didn't do enough passes on the HGN for sure, I think. I mean, I don't want to like beat up on these officers like too bad. Like I get the scope of this, right? A 17-year-old's hurt, but man, the more serious the case like this, the more you want your officer to like be well trained and do everything the right way.
Right.
You know
Just
what I mean?
really button down those tests. And I mean, for our viewers at home, it is hard to see what they're looking for in this test, but on a horizontal gaze nystagmus, just to summarize it, they're looking for an involuntary jerking of the eye where the pupil kind of goes back and forth. It's always difficult to see in a body camera.
Exactly.
The shoes, do you want to take the shoes off? Do you have any problems with your legs that will... So it's gonna be called a weapon training.
Long hair?
You're gonna put your left foot in line. Okay, so we're gonna use this line. Okay, the one on there.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you got it. Good job.
Simple things.
So you're gonna put your left foot on the line and put your right foot in front of it. Okay? So you put your arms down. I'm gonna tell you what to do. Just follow my instructions. Do not start until
Starting
you
too
do
early.
so.
That's an indicator.
So look at me for a second. Your left foot in the line, your right foot right in front. Okay, your hands on your side at all times. Okay? Again, do not start until they tell you to do so. Do you understand the instructions?
Just go out in a circle.
Yes. When I tell you to begin, take 9 steps, heel to toe steps on the line. Turn around, keeping 1 foot on the line, and return 9 steps, heel to toe steps.
George was in the starting position. Go back to that.
On the 9th step, keep the front foot on the line and turn by taking several
I
small
think it
steps.
is a field training officer. I mean, I feel like this officer's not doing so hot on the instructions here. And that's definitely something as a defense attorney I've jumped on before when their instructions aren't understandable.
Right. I didn't hear him ask about injuries. It's just kind of, they're not doing a great job giving. I mean, part of this is just like actually giving good instructions. So, so you can say in court, like, we gave the instructions, we gave them good. The person said they understood them. And then look how they did, right? Here, the officer's not giving great instructions. And if it's because they're being trained in that I just saw that other officer sort of whisper to them, like, terrible idea for a case that is as serious as it with serious injuries. Let them learn on like the minor DUI where they pull someone over for weaving on a country road, right? Let them learn on that one, not when there's a kid that is seriously hurt and that will certainly be submitted for felony charges.
Oh, for sure.
One foot or one foot. While walking, wipe your feet at all times. Keep your arms at your side and count steps aloud so I can hear you. Once you begin to now stop the test until it's complete. So you understand the instructions? You may begin now.
She didn't demonstrate the test.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Take tiny steps, turn around. Anyway.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
She had her hands raised more than 6 inches. She started the test too early. Her turn, I'm sure they're going to say, was incorrect.
Everyone does the turn wrong.
Everybody. It's not by any means the worst walk and turn I've ever seen, but enough clues. They call them clues.
Yep.
Enough clues to knock her for being impaired.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, if the officer, they still have another test to do, but if the officer's report says, this indicator, this, all the indicators you mentioned, plus not step and heel to toe, way more than enough to make probable cause for arrest on a DUI.
Absolutely.
The last test that we're going to do is called the one leg stand.
So you make your assessments, right? On the first one, you already made your assessments as to what was
Yo, control that! I don't want that interfering over here. I don't care what that is. Why are you even on the scene? Back him away. Why is he standing next to you? Move him away from the scene, please. Let's go.
What do I do? Okay.
No, you didn't do anything.
No. Stand with me. Okay, just stand where we were at the beginning, okay?
What the?
Notice how there's nobody walking around and no more cars. It's
You're
a lot later in the
your
night.
heels together. Do not begin the test until I tell you to. Do you understand? When I tell you to, I want you to raise one leg. Either leg, doesn't matter. Approximately 6 inches from the ground. Foot pointed out. Keep both legs straight and keep your eyes on the elevated. Keep your eyes on the elevated foot. While holding that position, count out loud. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and so forth until I tell you to stop. So you're gonna look at me.
And see.
Okay, your arms are gonna be to your side. You're gonna be looking at your foot. Okay. Look at me. Arms down. You're gonna look at your foot. Okay. Until I tell you to stop. So you may begin the test. You may keep it count.
Do you have any questions before she begins? Go
Let's
back to your starting position.
Let's go to the line again. We're starting at the line. Okay.
Tell her her feet need to be pointed down.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004,
She's gonna nail this, I bet.
2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14. You gotta count the whole thing. 15, so what? 17, 1,000, 17.
That's not a clue, technically.
18,
What's that?
Counting 1001.
You can stop now.
I was saying she balanced well.
Oh, yeah, she definitely did.
And that, I'm not saying by any means that she shouldn't be arrested for DUI or that she's going to win this case, but yeah, oftentimes the younger, fitter you are, the better you do on this test in particular.
Oh, for sure.
Your fitness doesn't necessarily, I mean, sure, I guess if you're like super overweight, it's harder to do heel to toe. But your fitness, you know, the heel, it's just different. Try it right now, right? The heel to toe is not, great fitness doesn't necessarily make up for that. No. Great fitness does make up for this test, at least in my sort of experience anecdotally. Someone who's younger and more fit can just stand on one leg easier. And she kind of nailed it so far.
You can stop now.
But despite DaniLeigh believing she passed the sobriety test, officers placed...
You ever talk to anyone who doesn't think that they passed this?
Oh,
everyone thinks they passed. Everybody who gets a DUI thinks that they passed. And then you get the video and you're like, yeah, no, you didn't pass. Not always, but many times you're like, yeah, no, not at all.
Under arrest for DUI and leaving the scene of an accident.
And the truth is, if you're in the position, especially obviously if a kid was hit and seriously injured, but if you are in the position where you are on the side of the road and you are doing those standard field sobriety tests, I would say the odds are so stacked against you. I'm talking 99 to 100 out of 100 times you're getting arrested.
Absolutely.
Already. So like the fact that you think you passed it, I mean, even if you did pass it, guess what? It's pretty damn subjective. And the officer's going to have to make a judgment call, and most times they're going to err on the side of caution, especially in this case.
Lean forward. Lean forward. You're going to put your hands behind your back.
I'm going to be arrival at 13 Washington, and we're going to have
Can I see
one
the cameras because I didn't know
document in custody time.
for DUI and for hitting somebody under the influence.
DaniLeigh was taken off to the police station. Once officers arrived, they reviewed again the startling surveillance video that showed the moment of impact.
Yeah, she's cruising through an intersection.
Dude. He is lucky to be alive right now.
Yeah, it's the witness said exactly what the witness said.
That's pretty bad.
According to police, the R&B singer blew a 0.145 on the first breathalyzer she took, then a 0.148 on the second breathalyzer, nearly double the legal limit. She was charged with 2 felonies, leaving the scene of a crash and DUI with serious injury, as well as 2 misdemeanors of driving under the influence and DUI damage to property or person, and was issued just a $1,000 bond. The 17-year-old victim was transported to the hospital and sustained a kidney laceration and a spinal fracture. Fast forward to this year, DaniLeigh was sentenced in the case to 5 years of probation. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Elizabeth Milner.
Yeah, what do you think about that 5-year probation sentence?
I mean, if she had no background,
right?
I mean, that's fair. Normally for some of these felony DUIs, you're looking at some type of probation sentence if you have no background. I mean, 5 years is a lot. Yeah. And I'm sure they impose conditions on her as well. You know, I don't know all the factors that went behind it, obviously, in sentencing, but I mean, 5 years is a lot.
Yeah.
I think, relatively speaking, without knowing more of the conditions, it's a pretty fair sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame somebody who's watching this, or certainly the family of the kid or anything, to think like, you got to go to jail for this, right? I don't blame someone for thinking that. I don't even necessarily disagree with them. Like, I get that. I get that argument for sure. And I think, honestly, some other people in a similar situation would go to jail for that. Maybe different counties or areas, different judges. Maybe somebody who cannot afford probably the great legal representation that she had, whoever that was. So yes, I think it's reasonable to think that somebody could and would go to jail for a similar situation. She happened to get 5 years probation. I don't know that it's egregious. Like you said, it's not like way outside the realm of possibility, especially if she's got no background. But yeah, I don't blame somebody for thinking that she deserved a bit more than that. I'm glad the kid, had some very serious injuries. It sounds like they didn't give too much info, but I'm glad he survived it, and hopefully he's doing well. Yeah, those are the exact charges I thought. They did get a conviction on all or most of those charges, at least the ones that matters, because 5 years probation is not jail time, it's not prison time, but 5 years probation is a hefty amount of time that you are under the watchful eye of the long arm of the law. Great. Let's talk about the officers first. How do you think they did in conducting their investigation?
Well, I think I would split it. I think between the officers who were doing the initial crash investigation, they were doing everything they should. I mean, I'm not a police officer, but they were talking to a bunch of witnesses. Looks like they got the street cameras, which is great. The DUI investigation, the police officer who was giving the standardized field sobriety instructions, ouch.
Yeah, not great.
Just read off the card.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's an approved card, read off the card. That was scaring me, that she might tank this investigation.
Right.
I would give her like a C.
Sure.
But overall, the police and, they secured a conviction.
Yep.
I would give the overall interaction, an A. They did what they were supposed to do.
Jim, I tend to agree with you. I'd give the officers a B grade. Overall, they got their person. They didn't do the greatest DUI investigation, but the fact that she did the breathalyzer and she still had plenty of signs of impairment made up for that. They got their conviction in the end. Right. They get a passing grade. Tell me, what's your grade for the defendant?
An F-, the lowest grade I could give.
Sure.
I mean, the lack of remorse, the fact that she submitted to standardized field sobriety, I don't know if that's a redeeming thing for her on a moral perspective, but as her defense attorney, that had me driving or pulling my hair out.
Right.
But overall, just that is not how you handle being investigated for a DUI.
No, bunch of stupid decisions. Speeding that fast, rainy, populated area, dumb decision. Now, in the end, we know she was also drinking or intoxicated. Obviously, that's never a good decision either. Now the unthinkable happens and you've hit someone at a high rate of speed. To continue to keep going, terrible decision, right? To get caught, not great. Let's be honest. And then to submit to all those things, not good. So yes, she has to get an F from start to finish on this. It's a tough, sad situation, obviously, when a 17-year-old has such serious injuries. All right, guys, there you have it. Kind of a tough one to watch. I don't like watching that security camera footage of the person flying. That turns my stomach. And that's because she made a bunch of bad decisions, a bunch of really bad decisions. She has to live with that. I hope you learned a little bit, at least as we paused and walked through it a little bit. Thank you for watching.